I've just placed a stone under the floating stone over on the most westerly point of the UK, and it was Thuraz, the rune for hardship and shamanic journeying, which I saw before I pulled it. I knew it was going to be the rune that came out, and it was. And now we're walking back through all this gorse and heather, and we've got, what, 10 miles back to the campsite. And these are my companions who are coming with me, Fran and John. Yay! So Mousehole is there, isn't it? The place on the land that we can see over there, and Penzance. And then we walked from over the other side, Land's End. We've walked round, and there's St Michael's Mount. And then we've walked round the coast. And now we're saying goodbye to the sea. Bye bye sea. Bye bye sea.
Bye bye sea. Bye sea.
See you again on the other side.
See you.
What's the pirate's favourite letter?
C.
Wow.
Thought that I heard you laughing. Thought that I heard you sing.
This is St Stithian's Church, which is named after an anchoress. An anchoress is someone who was built into the walls of the church. We talk about Julian of Norwich a lot in Sisterhood, which is the play that I wrote, a sacred play about 3 women locked in a church, and in the morning they're going to be tried for witchcraft. And they, Marjorie, who's the older woman, she is a look at the church. She's a spiritualist, but she's a pagan, and she's a wise woman and a cunning woman, and she talks about lots of kind of spiritual things and kind of, what's it called? A theist is someone who believes in kind of the spiritual essence of all of the faiths, which is what I am. Like I see the kind of spiritual integrity of all faiths, which I think, is the origin of all faiths, and then they just get used and abused. But originally they were for beautiful, they were inspired by beauty and love and all the stuff that they all have in common. But an anchorite, sorry, a little wasp came to say hello. An anchoress was a woman, I think you did get men, but mainly they were women, who would be built into the walls of the church, and the word squint comes from them. So they would be like a room built on the side. They're actually not tiny, it was like a little, almost like what you imagine like a nun to live in, like a little cell. And they would be built in completely, so there'd be no door, and then there'd be somewhere for toileting to go through, so like some sort of sewage system, and then there would be somewhere for food to be brought to them, so food would just be brought to you. And then there was a squint, which was like a post box that looked over at the altar in the church, which meant that you could watch the service. And then there'd be an outside squint as well, so that people could come up to the church and whisper into the wall like confession, but ask for advice. So it was like an agony aunt built into the wall of the church. And it seems like a really kind of heavy thing to do, but actually in the medieval times, there was plague and pestilence and people raping and pillaging, and for old women it was actually quite a safe place to be. And when the Reformation happened, Henry VIII tore down the monasteries and the churches, a 100-year-old anchoress was pulled out of a wall of a church. So like he lived longer, had a better life, really, living in the wall, because you had less horrible stuff happen to you. So this is Saint Stithian, and it's just nice to remember Stithian the anchoress, who lived in the walls of this here church. He's come to say good morning. Good morning, Froggy. Cinnabar caterpillars on the ragwort flowers. Bye bye.